Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. We're going to talk about Crunchyroll, anime, HBO Max, the streaming wars. We're going to talk about all of that and why I think Crunchyroll is going to be toast. They're going to be toast. They're going to be done in a year or two because they're redundant. They're absolutely redundant. Warner Media is positioning HBO Max to be the go-to place for anime fans, for cartoon fans, and I don't understand why they would keep a separate anime streaming service when HBO Max is going to have top shelf animation like Studio Ghibli films and original stuff like Rooster Teeth's content, Genlock, etc. Adventure Time, New Adventure Time from Cartoon Network. It doesn't make sense for them to keep Crunchyroll open, especially with their subscriber numbers. So we're going to talk about that in this episode of Clownfish TV. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Please subscribe. We're at almost 80,000 subs, hoping for 100,000 soon. We talk about pop culture. We give our news, views, and opinions on pop culture. We cover animation, anime, Star Wars, Disney, video games, movies, comic books, you name it. We talk about it, whatever interests us that day, so we're pretty eclectic. One thing we've been keeping a close eye on is the streaming wars, especially when it comes to animation, because, you know, currently Netflix is kind of the go-to for anime outside of Crunchyroll. Now, HBO Max was announced. It's going to supposedly be the Disney Plus killer, the Netflix killer. Warner Media is putting everything into the service, and they announced a couple of weeks ago that they were going to get the Studio Ghibli library. Not only that, but Studio Ghibli's entire catalog is going to be available to buy digitally, in addition to being available on HBO Max. But that's not it. In addition to Studio Ghibli being available, they're also bringing out new episodes of Adventure Time. HBO Max is where first run Rooster Teeth content like Genlock is going to go. So it's not going to Rooster Teeth first. It's going to go to HBO Max first, and then Rooster Teeth first. I think they should name that Rooster Teeth second, and then finally to Adult Swim. And all of this seems to be brought about by the fact that HBO is bankrolling everything. HBO seems to be the flagship brand, and Warner Media is in a position right now where they have millions and millions, billions of dollars in debt. And they have to pay that debt back. And they're consolidating like crazy. And I'm going to show you why I think Crunchyroll is not long for this world, at least not as it is right now, as a separate standalone streaming service. Beyond the fact that it's redundant, because all of the Crunchyroll content, or a lot of it, is already coming to HBO Max. And HBO Max is getting Ghibli. Ghibli is not going to Crunchyroll. The Cartoon Network content is not going to Crunchyroll, as far as I know. It's not going to Crunchyroll. It's HBO Max exclusive. So we're going to look at the numbers for Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll has 2 million subscribers, right? Crunchyroll has 2 million subscribers currently, and that sounds like a lot, but you have to realize Crunchyroll has been in business for about 13 years. Now, they have a lot more people than that visit the site, but as far as paying subscribers, people that pay $7 a month, we're talking 2 million of them. Now, anime is pretty niche, you know, it is, but that's not a whole lot, especially not since they've been around for 13 years. You know, it's not a whole lot of people in the grand scheme of things. And I want to show you something. I want to show you the other numbers. So Crunchyroll, keep in mind, Crunchyroll's been around since 2006. It's got 2 million paying subscribers. A couple of weeks ago when Disney Plus launched, they were bragging about having 10 million subscribers. Now, we don't know how many of those are actually paid subscribers. We have no idea how many of those are just, trying out the service, doing the 7-day trial and then canceling. How many are getting it comped? We have no idea. But that's in week one. Now, it is Disney. It is Disney. But they're estimating to have between 60 million, 90 million subs by 2024. Let's look at what the other streaming services have and then compare that to Crunchyroll and show a couple examples of, I guess, like C-list, D-list streaming services that are owned by Warner Media that have been shuttered. Okay, Netflix came out a year after Crunchyroll. 158 million subscribers, 60 million of those in the US. Hulu, which a lot of people said Hulu isn't doing so hot, but Hulu's got 28.5 million US subscribers, and a lot of people are subscribing for live TV. We actually subscribe to Hulu for live TV, and they do have a bunch of anime on Hulu too. HBO's HBO Now, which is, you know, the current version of HBO's streaming service, still has 8 million subs. HBO in general has 34 million US. So HBO Now, I think, is $15 a month too, and it's got 8 million subs, and that's in addition to what they have on TV. CBS All Access, which a lot of people have considered a failure. They've considered it a failure since 2014, 8 million subs. ESPN Plus, again, a lot of people don't think ESPN Plus is doing so hot, 3.5 million subs in like 2 years. Okay, less than a year, 2018. I thought it was older than that. DAZN, what is this? 4 million global subs as of May. Crunchyroll began streaming in 2006, more than 2 million global subs. Amazon, there's 100 million Prime subscribers. These are big numbers, okay, for the most part. They're pretty big numbers. When HBO Max comes out, it's bringing Friends with it. It's bringing all of Cartoon Network with it. You know, we talked about in an earlier video, all the shuffling that's going on at Cartoon Network right now. And a lot of this, from what I understand, is happening because they're prepping Cartoon Network to basically generate content for HBO Max. HBO Max is going to compete head-to-head with Netflix and with Disney Plus, and I think they're going to bring the boom. I really do. I mean, it's going to cost more than Disney Plus, but they've got a huge library of everything Warner Brothers has worked on. Plus, they have access to Crunchyroll anime, which they've already confirmed. They've got tons of Cartoon Network content. They have, just a bunch of, Warner Brothers animation. For an animation fan, it's going to be the go-to, I think. Maybe not right out of the gate, but it will be eventually. And there is no purpose to Crunchyroll anymore as a standalone streamer. I mean, if I were Warner Brothers and I were looking to cut corners, and you're looking at HBO, even HBO Now has 8 million subs, and you're going down the list and you're like, well, Crunchyroll in 13 years only has 2 million. That is a drop in the bucket compared to where we need to be. So what I could see them doing, again, this is just my personal opinion, what I could see them doing is actually being like, fine, Crunchyroll subs, you come over to HBO Max, we'll give you a discount. We'll charge you $7 a month like you're paying now for Crunchyroll, and you get all that anime plus everything else that HBO has on HBO Max. And I could totally see that happening. Or Crunchyroll just becoming a brand, a studio, which they're trying to do with High Guardian Spice, but I'm not fully convinced that High Guardian Spice isn't going to be released as like a Cartoon Network thing or something. I'm not sure what's going on yet. So they talked about last year, Drama Fever was a casualty of the big boy game. And this was last year. Now, Geeky was very upset about this. Drama Fever, like Crunchyroll, was a niche streaming service owned by Warner Media that got cut because the numbers weren't there and it didn't make any sense for it to exist. Drama Fever was K-drama. It was K-drama. And they had about 500,000 subs, I think, is what they said. They had like 500,000 to 1 million subs. Again, for what it was, that's pretty decent. But it wasn't enough for Warner Media to justify its existence. Actually, what happened with Drama Fever, it was really crappy. They gave no indication at all that they were going to shut down. Warner Media just said, shut it down. AT&T just said, shut it down. And it was gone. Just one day, it was just gone. Something similar happened to Machinima. Warner owned Machinima, and they folded it into Full Screen, which got folded into this other Otter Media or whatever they have now, whatever it is. Warner has a history of just shutting these smaller streaming services down. Filmstruck just got shut down. That was another Warner Media niche streaming service. It got shut down in, last month. So they're still shutting divisions down. Now, Crunchyroll, is doing better than both of these, but it's still very niche, and they've already confirmed they're having a bunch of anime come to HBO Max. So what I think is probably going to happen, we've been talking about this, especially when you look at these numbers, and especially when you look at the fact that Ghibli is coming to HBO Max and not coming to Crunchyroll. I think Crunchyroll's living on borrowed time. I think they're eventually going to shut it down. Maybe not right away, but within a year or two of them launching HBO Max. And there might not be a lot of warning that they're going to do it. You know, there was no warning at all for Drama Fever. Very little warning, like a month, I think, for Filmstruck, and some of the other services they shut down. Just Warner Media is cutting these services mercilessly. They're going to roll everything into HBO Max, and that's where all the anime is going to be, for better or for worse, I think. So what are your thoughts? Comment below, let us know. We're going to keep an eye on this. I'm actually pretty excited about HBO Max because there is a lot of animation coming to this, more animation that interests me than what they have over on Disney Plus right now. But this is where it's going to be, guys. I'm telling you. All right, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later. Thinking about printing your own comic books, graphic novel, or manga? We recommend our friends over at PrintNinja. We've been using PrintNinja as long as they've been printing comics, and both the quality and price is excellent. Mention Clownfish TV and get an additional 5% overrun of your book order quantity printed for free. For free! That's free books, people. Just mention this offer on the phone or in the additional information box on the quote request form. That's printninja.com, or click on the link in the description below. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.